It's Mrs. Brewer, and today we are going to finish up reading chapter 16. I take a zebra to Vegas. Let's see what happens. When we left off, they were in the back of the truck with the zebra, the lion, and the antelope thing headed to Vegas. So let's find out what's going to happen. My nightmare started out as something I dreamed a million times before. I was being forced to take standardized tests while wearing a straitjacket. All the other kids were going out to recess, and the teacher kept saying, "Come on, Percy, you're not stupid, are you? Pick up the pencil." Then, the dream strayed from the usual. I looked over at the next desk and saw a girl sitting there, also wearing a straitjacket. She was about my age, with unruly black, punk-style hair, dark eyeliner around her storm green eyes, and freckles across her nose. Somehow, I knew who she was. She was Thalia, daughter of Zeus. She struggled against the straitjacket and glared at me in frustration and snapped, "Well, seaweed brain, one of us has to get out of here." She's right, my dream self thought. I'm going back to that cavern. I'm going to give Hades a piece of my mind. The straitjacket melted off of me. I fell through the classroom floor. The teacher's voice changed until it was cold and evil, echoing from the depths of a great chasm. "Percy Jackson," it said. "Yes, the exchange went well, I see." I was back in the dark cavern, spirits of the dead drifting around me. Unseen in the pit, the monstrous thing was speaking. But this time, it wasn't addressing me. The numbing power of its voice seemed directed somewhere else. "He suspects nothing?" it asked. Another voice, one I almost recognized, answered at my shoulder. "Nothing, my lord. He is ignorant as the rest." I looked over, but no one was there. The speaker was invisible. Deception upon deception. The thing in the pit mused aloud. "Excellent." "Truly, my lord," the voice next to me said, "you are well named the Crooked One. But was it really necessary? I could have brought to you exactly what I stole directly." "You?" the monster said in scorn. "You have already shown your limits. You would have failed completely if I had not intervened. But, my lord—" "Peace, little servant. Our 6 months have bought us much. Zeus's anger has grown. Poseidon has played his most desperate card. Now we will use it against him. Shortly you will have the reward you wish and your revenge. And we will, as soon as both items are delivered into my hands. But wait, he is here." "What?" The invisible servant sounded tense. "You summoned him, my lord?" "No." The full force of the monster's attention was now pouring over me, freezing me in place. "Blast his father's blood. He is too changeable, too unpredictable. The boy brought himself here." "Impossible!" the servant cried. "For a weakling such as you, perhaps," the voice snarled. Then its cold power turned back on me. "So, you wish to dream of your quest, young half-blood. I will oblige." The scene changed. I was standing in a vast throne room with the black marble walls and bronze floor. The empty, horrid throne was made from human bones. Yes, you heard that right. Human bones. Fused together. Standing at the foot of the throne was my mother, frozen in shimmering golden light, her arms outstretched. I tried to step towards her, but my legs wouldn't move. I reached for her, only to realize that my hands were withering to bones. Grinning skeletons in Greek armor crowded around me, draping me with silk robes, wreathing my head with laurels and smoked chimera poison, burning into my scalp. The evil voice began to laugh. "Hail the conquering hero." I woke with a start. Grover was shaking my shoulders. "The truck stopped. We think they're coming to check on the animals." "Hide!" Annabeth hissed. She had it easy. She just put on her magic cap and disappeared. Grover and I had to dive behind the feed sacks and hope we looked like turnips. The trailer door creaked open. Sunlight and heat poured in. Man, one of the truckers said, waving his hand in front of his big ugly nose, I wish I hauled appliances. He climbed inside and poured some water from a jug into the animal's dishes. You hot, big boy? He asked the lion, and then splashed the rest of the bucket right in the lion's face. The lion roared in indignation. Yeah, the man said. Next to me, under the turnip sacks, Grover tensed. For a peace-loving herbivore, he looked downright murderous. The trucker threw the antelope a squash-looking Happy Meal bag. He smirked at the zebra. How you doing, Stripes? At least we be getting rid of you this stop. You like magic shows? You're gonna love this one. They're gonna saw you in half. The zebra, wild-eyed with fear, looked straight at me. There was no sound, but clear as day, I heard it say, Free me, Lord, please. I was too stunned to react. There was a loud on the side of the trailer. The trucker inside with us yelled, What do you want, Eddie? A voice outside, it must have been Eddie's, shouted back, Hey, Maurice, what you say? What are you banging for? Outside, Eddie yelled, What banging? Our guy Maurice rolled his eyes and went back outside, cursing at Eddie for being an idiot. A second later, Annabeth appeared next to me. She must have done the banging to get Maurice out of the trailer. She said, This transport can't be legal. No kidding, Grover said. He paused as if listening. The lion says these guys are animal smugglers. That's right, the zebra said in my voice, or the zebra's voice said in my mind. We've got to free him, Grover said. He and Annabeth both looked at me, waiting for my lead. Weird, I'd heard the zebra talk, but not the lion. Why? Maybe it was another learning disability. I could only understand zebra? And then I thought, horses. What had Annabeth said about Poseidon creating horses? Was a zebra close enough to a horse? Was that why I could understand it? The zebra said, Open my cage, Lord, please. I'll be fine after that. Outside, Eddie and Maurice were still yelling at each other, but I knew they'd be coming inside to torment the animals any minute. I grabbed Riptide and slashed the lock off the zebra cage. The zebra burst out. It turned to me and it bowed. Thank you, Lord. And Grover held up his hands and said something to the zebra in goat talk, like a blessing. Just as Maurice was poking his head back inside to check out the noise, the zebra leaped over him and into the street. There was yelling and screaming and cars honking. We rushed to the doors of the trailer in time to see the zebra galloping down a wide boulevard lined with hotels and casinos and neon signs. We'd just released a zebra in Las Vegas. Maurice and Eddie ran after it, with a few policemen running after them, shouting, Hey, you need a permit for that! Now would be a good time to leave, Annabeth said. The other animals first, Grover said. I cut the locks with my sword. Grover raised his hands and spoke the same goat blessing he'd used for the zebra. Good luck, I told the animals. The antelope and the lion burst out of their cages and went off together into the streets. Some tourists screamed. Most just backed off and took pictures, probably thinking it was some kind of stunt by one of the casinos. Hey, will the animals be okay? I asked Grover. I mean, the desert and all. Don't worry. I placed a satyr sanctuary on them. Meaning they'll reach the wild safely. They'll find water, food, shade, whatever they need until they find a safe place to live. Why can't you put a blessing like that on us? I reasoned. It only works on wild animals. So it only worked on Percy, Annabeth reasoned. Hey, I protested. Kidding, she said. Come on, let's get out of this filthy truck. We stumbled out into the desert afternoon. It was 110 degrees. Easy. And we must have looked like deep-fried vagrants, but everybody was too interested in the wild animals to pay us much attention. We passed the Monte Carlo and the MGM. We passed pyramids, a pirate ship, the Statue of Liberty, which was really a pretty small replica, but it still made me homesick. I wasn't sure what we were looking for. Maybe just a place to get out of the heat for a few minutes, find a sandwich and a glass of lemonade, make a new plan for getting west. We must have taken a wrong turn because we found ourselves at a dead end, standing in front of the Lotus Hotel and Casino. The entrance was a huge neon flower. The petals lighting up and blinking. No one was going in or out, but the glittering chrome doors were open, spilling out air conditioning that smelled like flowers. Lotus blossom, maybe. I'd never smelled one, so I wasn't really sure. The doorman smiled at us. "Hey kids, you look tired. You want to come in and sit down?" I'd learned to be suspicious in the last week or so I figured anybody might be a monster or a god. You really just couldn't tell. But this guy was normal. One look at him and you could tell. Besides, I was so relieved to hear somebody who sounded sympathetic that I nodded that we'd love to come inside. Inside, we took one look around and Grover said, "Whoa!" The whole lobby was one giant game room. And I'm not talking about cheesy old Pac-Man games and slot machines. There was an indoor water slide snaking around the glass elevator, which went straight up at least 40 floors. There was a climbing wall on the side of one building, and an indoor bungee jumping bridge. And there were virtual reality suits with working laser guns and hundreds of video games, each with each one the size of a widescreen TV. Basically, you name it, this place had it. There were a few other kids playing, but not that many. No waiting at any of the games. There were waitresses and snack bars all over the place, serving every kind of food you can imagine. "Hey," a bellhop said. At least, I guessed he was a bellhop. He wore a white and yellow Hawaiian shirt with Lotus design shorts and flip-flops. "Welcome to the Lotus Casino. Here's your room key." I stammered, but... No, he said, laughing. "Bill's taken care of. No extra charges, no tips. Just go on up to the top floor, room 4001. If you need anything like extra bubbles for the hot tub, skeet targets for the shooting range, whatever, you just call the front desk. Here are your Lotus cash cards. They work in the restaurants and all the games and all the rides." He handed us each a plastic credit card. I knew this must be some mistake. Obviously, he thought we were some millionaire's kids, but I took the card and said, "How much is on here?" His eyebrows knit together. "What do you mean?" "I mean, when does it run out of money?" He laughed. "Oh, you're making a joke. That's cool. Enjoy your stay." We took the elevator upstairs and checked out our room. It was a suite with 3 separate bedrooms and a bar stocked with candy, sodas, and chips. A hotline to room service, fluffy towels and water beds with feather pillows. A big screen TV with satellite and high-speed internet. The balcony had its own hot tub, and sure enough, there was a skeet shooting machine and shotgun, so you could launch clay pigeons right out over the Las Vegas skyline and plug them with your gun. I really didn't see how that could be legal, but it was pretty cool. The view over the strip and the desert was amazing. Though I doubted that we'd ever find time to look at a view with a room like this. "Oh my goodness," Annabeth said, "this place is sweet." Grover said, "Absolutely sweet." There were clothes in the closet and they fit me. I frowned, thinking that was just a little strange. I threw Aries' backpack in the trash. Wouldn't be needing that thing anymore. When we left, I could just charge a new one to the hotel store. I took a shower, which felt awesome after a week's worth of grimy travel. I changed clothes, ate a bag of chips, drank 3 Cokes, and came out feeling better than I had in a long time. In the back of my mind, some small problem kept nagging at me. I had a dream or something? I needed to talk to my friends? It could wait. I came out of the bedroom and found that Annabeth and Grover had also showered and changed clothes. Grover was eating potato chips to his heart's content, while Annabeth cranked up the National Geographic channel. All those channels, I told her, and you turn on Nat Geo? Are you insane? It's interesting. I feel good, said Grover. I love this place. Without his even realizing it, the wings sprouted out of his shoes and lifted him a foot off the ground and then set him back down again. So what now? Sleep? Grover and I looked at each other and we grinned. We both held up our green plastic Lotus Cash cards. Playtime, I said. I couldn't remember the last time I'd had so much fun. I came from a relatively poor family. Our idea of a splurge was eating out at Burger King and renting a movie. 5-star Vegas hotel? Forget it. I bungee jumped the lobby 5 or 6 times, did the water slide, snowboarded the artificial ski slope, and played virtual reality laser tag in FBI's sharpshooter. I saw Grover a few times going from game to game. He really liked the reverse hunter thing, where the deer go out and try to shoot the rednecks. I saw Annabeth playing trivia games and other brainiac stuff. They had this huge 3D sim game where you could build your own city, and you could actually see the holographic buildings rise up on the display board. I didn't think it was that great, but Annabeth loved it. I'm not sure when I first realized something was wrong. Probably it was when I noticed the guy standing next to me at the virtual reality sharpshooters. He was about 13, I guess, but his clothes were weird. I thought he was some Elvis impersonator. He wore bell-bottom jeans and a red t-shirt with black piping, and his hair was permed and gelled like a New Jersey girls on homecoming night. We played a game of sharpshooters together, and he said, "Groovy, man. Been here 2 weeks and games just keep getting better and better." Groovy? Later, while we were talking, I said something was sick. And he looked at me kind of startled, as if he'd never heard that word used that way before. He said his name was Darren, but as soon as I started asking him questions, he got bored with me and he started to go back to the computer screen. I said, "Hey, Darren." "Hey, what?" "What year is it?" He frowned at me. "In the game?" "No, in real life." He had to think about it. 1977. No, I said, getting a little scared. "No, really." "Hey, man, bad vibes. I got a game going." After that, he totally ignored me. I started talking to people and found out it wasn't very easy. They were glued to the TV screen or the video game or their food or whatever. I found a guy who told me it was 1985. Another guy told me it was 1993. They all claimed they hadn't been in here very long. A few days, maybe a few weeks at most. But they didn't really know, and they didn't really care. Then it occurred to me, how long had I been here? It seemed like just a couple hours, but was it? I tried to remember why we were here. We were going to Los Angeles. We were supposed to find the entrance to the underworld, my mother. For a scary second, I couldn't hardly remember her name. Sally Jackson. I had to find her. I had to stop Hades from starting World War III. I found Annabeth building her city. "Come on," I told her, "we got to get out of here." No response. I shook her. "Annabeth." She looked up annoyed. "What?" "We need to leave." "Leave? What are you talking about? I've just got the towers." "This place is a trap." She didn't respond until I shook her again. "What?" "Listen, the underworld, our quest." "Come on, Percy, just a few more minutes." "Annabeth, there are people here from 1977. Kids who have never aged. You check in and you stay forever." "So," she said, "can you imagine a better place?" I grabbed her wrist and yanked her away from the game. "Hey!" She screamed at me and hit me. But nobody even bothered looking at us. They were all too busy. I made her look directly into my eyes. And I said, spiders. Large, hairy spiders. That jarred her. Her vision cleared. Oh my gosh. How long have we... I don't know, but we have to find Grover. We went searching and found him still playing virtual deer hunter. Grover! We both shouted. He said, die, human! Die, you silly polluting person! Grover! He turned the plastic gun on me and started clicking, as if I was just another image from the screen. He looked at Annabeth, and together, Annabeth and I took Grover by the arms and dragged him away. His flying shoes sprang to life and started tugging his legs in the other direction as he shouted, no! I just got to a new level! No! The Lotus bellhop hurried towards us. Well now, are you ready for your platinum cards? We're leaving, I told him. Huh, such a shame, he said, and I got the feeling he really meant it, that we'd be just breaking his heart if we left. We just added a new floor full of games for the platinum card members. He held out the cards, and I wanted one. I knew that if I took one, I'd never leave. I'd stay here happy forever, playing games forever, and soon I'd forget my mom, my quest, and maybe even my own name. I'd be playing virtual rifleman with Groovy Darren forever. Grover reached for the card, but Annabeth yanked his arm back and said, no thanks. We walked towards the door, and as we did, the smell of the food and the sounds of the game seemed to get more and more inviting. I thought about our room upstairs. We could just stay the night, sleep in a real bed for once. And then we burst through the doors of the Lotus Casino and ran down the sidewalk. It felt like afternoon. About the same time of day that we'd entered the casino, but something was wrong. The weather had completely changed. It was stormy, with lightning flashing out in the desert. Aries' backpack was slung over my shoulder, which was odd because I was sure I had thrown it in the trash in room 4001. But at the moment, I had bigger problems to worry about. I ran to the nearest newspaper stand and read the year first. Thank goodness, it was still the same year as it had been when we went in. And then I noticed the date. June 20th. We had been in the Lotus Casino for 5, yes, count them, 5 days. We had only 1 day left to come to the summer solstice. 1 day to complete our quest. Dun dun. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow in chapter 17. We shopped for waterbeds. What's going to happen? See you tomorrow.